Hi, I am here with Jennifer Ellis, and we are both going to be performing and teaching at the International Harp Festival in Danville at San Damiano in May 2017. And I am so excited about Jennifer being there, and she's going to be teaching something and working with harpists in something called Rhythmics, which I know just a little bit about, and just think it's one of the most important things that harpists could ever be doing. So Jennifer, please say hello and tell everybody what Rhythmics is and what they're going to be doing at the International Harp Festival with you.
Hi, well, thanks so much for this chance to talk. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm very, very much looking forward to the International Harp Festival. So, a few of my sessions, like mixed meter mastery, are using principles from Rhythmics. And Rhythmics is a movement-based method for teaching rhythm. And so it's something that really helps to knit together our understanding of music orally and our visual understanding of music on the page with a really strong muscle memory understanding of music and rhythm.
That's great. And so what kind of things does it do? I mean, are we going to be doing things with our fingers or with the rest of our body or what?
Well, one of the principles of Rhythmics is to use the biggest muscle groups available to us. We already developed some muscle memory on the harp with our fingers about where they go when. But to really develop a muscle memory for rhythm, we use much bigger groups of our bodies, muscle groups in our body. So we use our legs, we'll use our arms, and it's all very modifiable. So if anyone has any injuries, as many of us musicians do,
right.
You can work around anything. But the principle is to use the largest group of muscles available to us. And it just gives us a system for kind of stopping up for a moment, stepping back, and organizing the rhythms. I think so many of us learn rhythms when we need them in the music. So the first time we play 2 against 3 is when we have a piece that demands 2 against 3.
Right.
And, and so we kind of have, I wouldn't call it haphazard necessarily, but it's a method of learning rhythm where it's like a little piecemeal, and we get it as we go. And sometimes it can be really nice to step back for a second and really isolate those rhythms, organize them in a way that makes sense to us, think about them in terms of different groups. It's like hooked on phonics for rhythm,
Well, I remember that when I was in college, I had one teacher who taught with Rhythmics. And I remember when she taught us 5/4. And I remember she had us walking around the room and we felt like kindergartners, but she was like, just do it. And it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And ever since then, that rhythm has been so much a part of my body. It makes it easy for me to improvise in 5/4. It feels like it's part of me. Sometimes even when I go running, I'll run in 5/4 because it kind of makes me run faster.
Yeah.
And that's why I mean, I don't know that much about it, but when Jessica said that you were going to be teaching Rhythmics, I was like, yes, this is what we all need. And the thing that's amazing is that you're a harp player as well. So you're not someone coming in from outside and imposing this information on us.
No, I'm first and foremost a harpist, and I started exploring Rhythmics because I thought it might help me with my teaching. I thought it would be a good tool in the teaching toolbox. And lo and behold, it completely transformed my playing. I mean, and here I was a new music harpist in particular. I do a lot of work in new music. So it would have made sense that, it's only relevant to me in the pieces with the really weird rhythms, the really avant-garde pieces. But that wasn't true at all. I mean, immediately I noticed improvements in my orchestral playing, of all things,
Wow.
It just really had a huge impact on me, and I realized that it could just really change my life as a musician. As harpists, we have such a strange relationship with duration.
Right.
We do those attacks and then we kind of just forget about it a little bit.
Right, because we forget that we're percussion instruments and that the silence is when the harp gets to sing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a beautiful way of putting it. So it opened a lot of doors for me, and now it's been really fun to get to share that with other musicians and other harpists in particular. I mean, our instruments are already so physical. that in a way, I feel like this is a very natural next step for harpists. And I say that as someone who is not a kinesthetic learner at all. I learn things, you know, very well by ear. But, you know, like you were describing with your experience with 5/4, there's something about learning it kinesthetically that has sticking power. That's just incredible. It really stays with you. And it gives you confidence on stage. It helps it be more automatic, so you aren't having to think so hard about it.
Right. Well, that's what I experienced. And the other thing that I really love about it, that I am, if I don't know this, but is that it can work for players of any level, because every single, you know, our struggle with rhythm and our relationship with rhythm, it starts from very first beginning when we start playing all the way up into professional.
Oh, absolutely. And I also see it a little like intonation, you know, which we as harpists have a weird relationship with that too. But, you know, if we were violinists, you would be working on intonation from the get-go all the way through your professional career. There's never a time when you aren't working on intonation. You're always trying to get more in tune, more consistent, more comfortable with always hitting all those notes in tune, with developing your ear, all those skills. And rhythm's the same way. We can always be honing. We can always be digging deeper with it. We can always be improving. And, you know, those basic building blocks of rhythm really demand maintenance. you know, we can't just let them be.
That is such a great point, because we get so like, well, once I've tuned my harp is in tune. And so we kind of get out of that maintenance even mindset. But you're so right about what it does for us with rhythm. And once we have rhythm, how it allows us to play with the music, with other people, and what you said about orchestra. So this is really exciting. Would you be willing to give us like one little exercise that maybe we could do as we're preparing for the International Harp Festival?
Absolutely. There's a fun exercise called Cosmic Whole Note. It's a total challenge puzzle of an exercise, but you just put your metronome on very, very slow as it will go. Like ideally even something crazy like quarter equals 6.
And quarter note equals like 6, meaning a sixth of a minute, or?
Yeah. So extremely slow.
So that's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so quarter note was like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically you, the only instruction is to try to clap with the click. And if first that just seems disastrous. So then I say, think of a piece that you know really, really, really well, and hit play on that piece in your head with the first click, and track what note you get to when you hear the next click, and loop back. And it can be a great exercise to see if you're really keeping that piece steady, or as steady as you think you are, you know. But, you know, often we find that we aren't keeping that piece super steady. So we need to kind of boost it to the next level. And that's when I suggest making a muscle memory for our subdivision. So try walking maybe 20 steps a click, and keeping a nice steady pace, walking pace, and seeing if that can help you clap with the click accurately. So it's taking subdivisions from that thing of like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a that we're counting silently in our heads.
Right.
Something physical that kind of helps us check our work instead of something that's all internal.
You know what I love about this? 2 things. Number one, it's giving us a relationship with time.
Yeah.
On a musical, and I also think even deeper level. And I think of some people, you know, some people have perfect pitch. I notice that some conductors seem to have perfect time. It gives us more of a chance, because otherwise I just feel like we're just like, here's 1 and there's 2. We're just like pointing around.
Yeah.
And now we get more solid with it. I think that's great. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm just having this sort of epiphany of like, wow, that could like, it could change your level of confidence on so many levels just to have that relationship.
And that, I think, is a huge part of what your Rhythmics is, really, fundamentally, is it's confidence building. It's getting it so you aren't having to think as hard about the rhythms while you're busy on stage, because you're busy. You're doing a million other things.
Right.
And pedals, and we don't have time to be panicked about if we're keeping the right rhythm or playing things correctly. that just needs to feel a little more automatic, a little more solid.
Yeah, so that's incredible. I mean, I'm just thinking that it's kind of, I think you already said this, but it's kind of like muscle memory for our sense of time. It's, wow. Well, now I'm even more excited about your workshops. Jennifer, tell me about the concert, who you're playing with, what you're going to be playing, what we're going to hear.
Okay, so I'm really looking forward to playing with Jonathan Holton-Cohen, a saxophonist at UMass Amherst. We play in a harp and saxophone duo, which is called the Admiral Launch Duo, and we just have a lot of fun. We've gone to commission some wonderful composers to write for us, and it's in a wide variety of styles. And already harp and saxophone is such an adventure, you know?
That's right.
And so the program itself is just really, it just has a huge range. You know, it's a lot of different types of music and pieces and really different styles of composers, even though the pieces are all newer. And
oh, wow, that's great. So a lot of different sounds, but all of it is new music that we probably won't have heard before, which sounds great.
Right, yeah.
Fabulous.
And it's fun to hear the harp be used in different ways, and it's fun to hear the way the timbre can combine with a saxophone of all
wow,
things.
That's really great. And what night is your concert?
It's the 25th, I believe.
So I love how we're like, I don't know, I'm going to get there. And it's, well, this is a perfect segue. People should just go to the website of the International Harp Festival. They'll be able to see when your concert is, when my concert is, when everything else is. And I really hope I know a lot of people have already signed up, and it's a beautiful location. And I really look forward to seeing you there and getting better rhythm.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and I'll see you really soon.
See you soon.
Okay, bye.